Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with some official news for Pokemon Sword and Shield. There was a Nintendo Direct today, and we were given some new Pokemon as well as some news in general about Pokemon Sword and Shield. So I'll be going over it, giving my thoughts, just to give you guys a little idea of what we got. But we basically got 2 new Pokemon revealed, as well as a new feature called Pokemon Camp that was basically talked about. And then last but not least, we got customization details from the game. So I'll be talking about it. I'm actually going to talk about the customization details really quickly first. Actually, no, we'll talk about that after because I want to talk about the Pokemon. So we got 2 new Pokemon. Cramorant, which is a water flying type. And I'll be talking a little bit about that. So historically, water flying type Pokemon are okay, but not because of them naturally being water flying. They usually have to have something better going for it. Gyarados, for example, has access to Dragon Dance, has Intimidate, which gives it a setup opportunity, as well as Moxie, which abuses that setup, right? And then it has Z moves, or had Z moves rather. We don't have those anymore, but it had Z moves with Z bounce, Z waterfall, things like that, and a good move pool as well. Waterfall, bounce, Stone Edge, Earthquake, Ice Fang. So it taunt, crunch if you're Mega Gyarados. So it had options, right? Pelipper, another water flying type, had the ability Drizzle, and that really changed it a lot, not only in singles but also in VGC. But in singles, it made you have the ability to run rain teams. You just put on a Damp Rock on that Pokemon. Now, and then there's Mantine in the lower tiers, which is really bulky, can defog as well, and has access to Roost. So, and Water Absorb. But this Pokemon is a little bit different. I don't necessarily think it'll be doing anything in terms of tanking too many hits, but it does have a unique ability called Gulp Missile, if I'm not mistaken. Gulp Missile. And what Gulp Missile does is if you use Surf or Dive, basically when you go underground, when you come back up, this Pokemon picks up like a fish in its mouth, and if it gets hit by an attack, the fish basically does some chip damage. So I'm assuming it's going to be similar to like Iron Barbs or Rocky Helmet or Rough Skin or anything like that, right? Where if I go for Surf, I hit your opponent, when I come back, I basically, I can't show the trailer because it will be claimed and whatnot, but I'll show you. Returns with the catch in its mouth after using Surf or Dive. So, as you can see, it used Surf on the Sudowoodo, which probably survived due to Sturdy. It has this little bird, this little fish in its mouth, excuse me. And after it got hit with Rock Throw, which it managed to live, it hit the Sudowoodo with a missile, and that boy got blown back. So, interesting as an ability. Don't know how important this is going to be in OU because we don't know this Pokemon's stats. Now, of course, this Pokemon has great speed and great special attack. A lot of promise. It's actually interesting that they did it specifically with Surf and Dive. So it's one of those few Pokemon where using Surf might actually end up being better than using Scald, right? Maybe, and that's a big maybe because this Pokemon might just suck. Obviously, it's a water flying type, so it needs a lot going for it to be solid. But a lot of water flying types we have are pretty good, besides maybe like Swanna. So, and I'm talking about in a competitive metagame. Now next up we have, and I really love this thing's name, and it's perfect for it, Polteageist. Now Polteageist is a ghost type Pokemon. It's literally Polteageist. It's in a teapot. It's a ghost type Pokemon. Its animations, by the way, when it was going for attacks, were awesome. I'm gonna see how much I can show you here, but like, as you can see, it's starting off here, but you can see like a. Let me see if I can just like go just a little bit, like by frame, but. As you can see right there, it's like coming out. So I really, really love the animation for this Pokemon. But the cool thing about it is it's pure ghost. And the cooler thing about it is, in terms of competitive, it has weak armor. Now, weak armor, you might be thinking, well, that's a pretty bad ability. It could be. It could be. But it can also make this Pokemon really solid. Being ghost type, you have a lot of resistances. The big one that comes to mind that has to do with OU is Bug, right? Resist Bug, and I'm thinking specifically U-Turn. For Pokemon like Scizor, Pokemon like Landorus Therian, which we don't even know is going to end up being Sword and Shield. So we don't know if Landorus T is going to be in Sword and Shield. But that's a big thing to resist that move, because if Weak Armor activates and you get that +2 speed, it being a pure Ghost type, there are Ghost types that have access to Nassicla and Calm Mind. The one that comes to mind specifically is Mismagius, but I know that Spiritomb also has a pretty intense move pool, obviously having Calm Mind and also Nasty Plot in that too. So imagine a Ghost type sweeper that And we don't even know if this thing is bulky, right? And it has weak armor its ability, and I think weak armor is perfect for its aesthetic, just because it's a broken teapot. So weak armor makes a lot of sense for it, aesthetically and just in general. But a ghost type with access to potentially nasty plot or a calm mind that has the opportunity to potentially boost its speed by bringing it in on a resisted move sounds really solid. And I want to compare it to there's this cat Pokemon, cat called Aramoth. And basically, Aramoth is a bug psychic type, and it has the ability weak armor, but it also has tail glow in its. Also has actually, it's pretty broken actually. It has Quiver Dance, it has tail glow, and it has Dragon Dance. So it has a ridiculous amount of stats, and its HP stat is base 110, but its defense is 99 and speed up is 60. But all you need, really, is to set up a nasty plot, or in that case, a tail glow, and then get hit with a move, right? As long as it does not knock you out and it activates weak armor, you have a boosted Mon right there that can potentially do a lot. Now, I'm gonna be real. This Mon doesn't look very tough. In fact, it looks cute. It does not look very tough at all. It definitely looks cute, but it doesn't look tough. However, on the competitive side, weak armor is not bad at all on a Pokemon that can boost. And I'll give you a recent example. I used Swords Dance, weak armor, weakness policy Kabutops in my WBE game versus Patters, and I was able to basically knock out 5 Pokemon, and early on in that game I knocked out another Pokemon with Kabutops, so I got 6 kills with Kabutops. So that's just, a pretty extreme example of a potential setup Mon. And again, the setup I went for was Swords Dance, right? But I got hit with the physical move. Now in Kabutops' case, had I not been EV'd the way I was, I would have died to the Earthquake from Mega Gyarados. But the same thing can be said about this Ghost type. Now, Ghost types statistically do not have the best HP stats. They generally have them very low. There are a few exceptions for that. But like Ubers, like Giratina, I believe there's also one other Ghost that also has a really good HP stat. But I mean, you even have Shedinja. But it's Drifloon. Drifloon is the one that comes to mind. Drifloon and Giratina have the same HP stat. And then, the rest of it is like Jellicent. Jellicent's like the best after. And after that, it goes relatively low. But this Mon, if it has potential to live a hit and it actually does have access to Nasty Plot or Calm Mind, definitely could see it being useful for this Pokemon in itself. And I do think that that'll be really cool to potentially look into. So I'm really excited about this Pokemon in particular due to its weak armor ability. Cramorant, I don't think is going to be necessarily good, but I don't know how much chip damage the Gulp Missile ends up doing. Again, I'm thinking it's similar to potentially like a Rocky Helmet here, or an Iron Barbs, or whatever, or Rough Skin. I think it's gonna be like that. So maybe potentially like as an anti-suicide lead, and that you have Pokemon like maybe like Aerodactyl or Sash, Azelf or something, and you go for Surf as they set up rocks, and then you go for Surf again, I guess, and maybe you knock them out, and then you have your little Gulp Missile. I don't know. Actually, you don't have your Gulp Missile immediately going before your Surf. I don't know how that works. I don't think this Pokemon is going to be very good personally, but I could be completely wrong, and I would love to be wrong. Now, next up, that I thought was pretty cool is they have the trainer customization, and the customization is actually a lot more than before, right? As you can see, we have a lot of different. This is all the same trainer. We actually have a lot more customization than what we've had before. It's more than just your skin tone and things like that. You can change your hair. You can potentially change your eyebrows as well. So it's actual real customization. And it's sad that we've had to come this far. It's sad that we've had to come this far, that we had to wait this long to get it, but we finally have it. So I'm pretty excited about that. Obviously, I think that'd be really nice. One thing I really love from the from Sun and Moon from VGC was seeing all the different trainers at like a VGC event, how they all look. So I thought that was a really cool way to do that. But last but not least, yeah, you can put on makeup and stuff. So if you want to do that, that's your prerogative. That's whatever. We have like this Pokemon camp where you can cook food, and I'm assuming that this is going to have to do with your EVs and IVs potentially. So in terms of competitive, obviously that does matter in itself. But oh yeah, also you can file Alcremie in different colors, which is pretty cool too. Which we weren't actually shown, but this one is green. It's typically the color that's next to it. But I think that's pretty cool as well because it's cream, so you can find that. It's like getting yogurt as well, or like ice cream. But yeah, I think that'll be cool for at least competitive. That'll probably And that probably does have to do with competitive. Maybe it's also the Pokemon amie stuff where you just love your Pokemon and they end up dodging moves in battle, which I personally don't care as much about. I wish you could turn that off, and I hope you could turn that off. I actually thought they were going to give us, some sort of EVs or anything, but yeah, the big thing to take away is we do have 2 new Pokemon. I do think that Polteageist can be really solid depending on what they give it. As long as they give it a boosting move like Glassy Plot, it does have potential to sweep. Obviously, being a Ghost type, they don't always have the best offensive options too, but Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, really all you need. Hidden Power, Fighting, or whatever of sorts. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts, and maybe before we actually go, let's see if there's actually some new information here that I'm missing. It would be introducing more Pokemon. Alright, so yeah, at the current point in time, we don't have the new Pokemon here. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Pretty excited. I like Polteageist. I think it's really cool. Really unique for a Ghost type as well. Obviously, we have some Ghost types that have Rock Polish, like Golurk. I don't know if we have other Ghost types that have Rock Polish, but I know Golurk gets Rock Polish, so that's pretty cool for it. But it doesn't have the ability to potentially boost twice in a turn. So I really like that. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.